Terry Sachs. Here. Marla Hexter.
Here.
Chuck Lighty.
Here.
Mark Hudson.
Here.
Paul Maxey. Tom Manning. Here. Andrew Belmore. Here. Carol Schultz.
Here.
The announcements, township meetings are recorded for the purpose of preparing the minutes, and the recording is destroyed 6 months after the minutes are approved. It is requested that all persons wishing to speak before the board shall state their name, address, and subject matter upon which they wish to speak for the record. In the interest of facilitating the business of the board, all persons addressing the board shall be limited to 2 minutes unless such time is extended by the chairman for good cause. Individuals are requested to remain in their seats and respect when other persons are speaking. The Board of Supervisors will provide a reasonable opportunity for citizens to comment on any non-agenda item after all agenda items have been addressed, but prior to the adjournment of the public meeting, adopted 1/30/18. Administrative actions. Approval to pay November invoices and accept treasurer's monthly report. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? We have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The approval of minutes, October 1st, 2019.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? A vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public comment on agenda items. Is there any public comment? Yes.
Chair Frederick, Mark, the last financial information that we posted was posted October the 1st. So I realize the supervisors have just approved minutes that are much newer than that. Can we get the updated information, please? The last financial information that was posted on the website was October the 1st.
Okay.
Can we get updated information, please?
Yep.
Do you have any other comment? Okay, we'll move on. Reports. Township engineer.
Thank you. Just a few items on my report this evening. The first is about use of remaining grant funds. The lining of 14 sanitary sewer manholes was completed well under budget. And since this work is 85% funded by the DCED Small Water and Sewer Projects Grant, there's roughly another $40,000 in grant money available until June of 2021. So we have been in touch with DCED to confirm that grant money can be used for other I&I related work such as video inspection and repairs. A detailed report has been provided to the board further detailing this matter, and if so directed by the board, I will obtain updated CoStar's pricing from sewer contractor SSSI to perform video inspection and repairs of known leaks. On a similar topic, I provided to the township a recommendation for final payment to the company that did the manhole linings. They've been paid for 95% of their work. They've since provided us with the maintenance bond and consent of surety to close the contract and pay the remaining 5%, which is $1,256.96. It's provided for the board to consider this evening. And then finally, the Knipe subdivision is a project that was conditionally approved by the Board of Supervisors in June of 2018. It received amended conditional approval in October of 2018. The plan hasn't been recorded yet. The applicant has addressed all the conditions except for one, which is certification of the project wells. So section 145-48B of the Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance, Township Code, states that if private wells owned and maintained by the individual owners of lots within the subdivision or development will be used, applicants shall certify their adequacy in writing to the Board of Supervisors. So the applicant needed to certify the adequacy of private wells on those lots. Now the applicant is requesting a waiver of this requirement so that the plan may be executed and recorded. So to give you a little bigger picture, this is a 2-lot subdivision, one of the lots already has a house on it. So we're talking about one potential new house. The applicant represented to the board last year that he's not going to be building right away. So he was not looking to spend the money to drill the well and do these things up front today. The applicant's lot is relative to the geology of the township. It's not in the diabase area where we have historically had some concerns about well water and wells running dry. This is the Brunswick Formation where there's not usually a problem. So if the board were to consider this request for waiver, as township engineer, knowing, having looked at the geology out there, I understand the township was receiving a letter from Mr. Knight's well driller. He's familiar with the area and has no reason to anticipate problems. So it's up to the board at this point if you'd like to grant a waiver to Mr. Knight. If that waiver were to be granted, the plans could then be signed tonight and recorded.
So just to clarify, he's not going to start building anytime soon. So why does he need to record the plan before he has the proof of the adequacy of the well?
Well, I can turn to the solicitor for more guidance on this, but there's a certain window of time between approval and when that plan gets recorded. So he could essentially run out of time and lose the approval that he has today because he didn't get the conditions met in the plan recorded.
So again, just to clarify, he has chosen not to spend money on a condition that he's required to comply with.
That would be correct, yes.
And you said there is a letter out there from an engineer saying
My
that...
understanding is there was a letter coming from a well driller affirming that.
They sent a letter in that the well driller sent a letter that he's drilled wells in that area and is very confident that there's no problem to drill a well in that property.
So, solicitor, what happens if he goes to build and you've given him the waiver and there's a problem with drilling for the well?
Right, so he has to certify the adequacy of the well, although it sounds like he really wants to delay that. I would think, and as engineer, correct me if I'm wrong, I would think you'd want that adequacy verification at some point, but he would like to delay this till further down the line.
Yes, and what was done for one other property in the township, to my recollection, this waiver was granted once before with the condition that this well be drilled and certified prior to a building permit being issued. I do believe that was done on another lot in the Lower Township in the past 2 years.
Now, I mean, I would not be in favor of a waiver unless we have some confidence
Some assurance that,
or some assurance, whatever the appropriate legal term is, that he's actually going to comply with this.
right. So, toss back to the engineer. What is it that you would want to see prior to either a building permit or an occupancy permit being issued for one or both of the lots?
Well, one of the lots is already occupied, there's already a well in the house there, so you're really only talking about the second lot. If the board were inclined to grant this waiver, and that's the board's decision, if they were inclined to grant the waiver, I would strongly recommend that it be with the condition that the well be drilled and certified in advance of issuing a building permit for the lot.
Can we make that motion?
We can make a motion.
So moved.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat the motion?
I'm gonna.
Let them-
How did you
So
raise
that would be a motion to waive section 145-48B regarding certification of private wells, with the condition that a well be drilled and certified before a building permit is issued for the new lot.
I'll second it. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. In the past,
Need more.
Warren Jacobs, Fulmer Road. In the past, you didn't need to certify a well to sell a building lot. You sell the lot and it's buyer beware. You get a dry hole, then you're just too bad. So now that the township requires that you drill, that you have adequate well before you subdivide, is the township going to have some kind of liability if the person that buys the lot can't get a well? Wouldn't it make more sense than to make it have to be done before a use and occupancy or a building permit, but rather the sale of the lot?
I think he's developing it himself, isn't he?
No.
No, he's not.
If you subdivide, then you have two lots, and then they're in the name of the guy that did the subdivision until he decides to either keep or sell it. If it's subdivided, he can sell the lot, and he's going to sell it to somebody that's going to be buying like in the old days. Only he's not going to, the guy that buys it is going to have any guarantees.
I agree that there's a great deal of wisdom in what you say, Warren, because that's always been a worry of mine, that there's a lot created in this problem as well. But I'm not sure that that's easy for the township to enforce. The township can't stop a sale of a property. They can stop issuance of a building permit without a well. So I'm not entirely sure how that would be managed.
Well, the situation is the guy could sell the lot without building on it. So the building permit's meaningless.
He could, but you want, with this utility, as with any utility, you want to make sure that the lot is adequate to build. And so it makes sense to make sure the utilities are either in place or there's a will serve letter if it were sent to our sewer prior to a building permit being issued. So I agree with you, there's different periods of time within which we could benchmark this. But I think it does make sense to say prior to any building permit being issued. You have to make sure that there's going to be adequate water there. As regards to liability, no, I see no liability on the part of the township because of the Political Subdivision Tort Claims Act and the immunity that a municipality enjoys for this type of situation.
Yes. Chuck?
Chuck Geiser, North Rhineford Road. I think, Carol, last time this was done, it was included as on the plan, right? So that would be your recommendation that this, what you just made a motion to, would be essentially included as a plan note on the subdivision plan. Right, so that way it's out there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It should. So that if there's a subsequent purchaser, they're aware of this requirement.
Right.
So do we need to amend the motion?
Yes, to add and a note placed on the plan to reflect the motion. And so you made the motion.
So I will
Agree
add that
to
to the
amend?
motion, yes.
You seconded it, you agreed to the second. Okay. So, unless there's any further questions,
More questions? A vote?
Aye.
Aye.
The other two notes on your report are required, but there's potential for motions, am I correct?
So I think you want to probably want to do a motion for the payment, for the final payment for manhole lining, and the other is direction to the engineer if you agree with the course of action, and we'll obtain a price for you from SSSI for the video, an updated price for the video inspection.
Make a motion on the manholes first, line? Okay. Make a motion for the manhole lining payment for $1,256.96.
I'll second.
Any questions? A vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The other one was for the DCEP grant?
I think Carol's right, she just needs direction from the board.
We don't need to vote on it.
No vote.
I think we should get updated pricing.
Consensus.
We'll vote on that.
Thank you.
We don't need to
Give
vote
them
on
that
it.
right. That's it, Carol?
That's everything in the engineer's report, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Township staff reports. Police chief?
During the month of November, there were 242 calls for service.
192 incidents were responded to by Lower Frederick Township. 50 incidents were covered by the state police. And Chief wanted me to remind everyone that it's the season of people stealing packages off of porches. So do what you can to get your packages off your porches as quickly as possible. The Amazon, the Walmart, all that kind of stuff. Also, he wanted me to tell you that Amazon has a thing now where, I guess if you have a code on your garage door, you can input that and they can put it in your garage. I don't know about that myself, but it's an option if you're in a place that's prone to have packages stolen. So it is that season as we get near the holidays and everyone's ordering constantly from Amazon or wherever. So just be aware.
Roadmaster. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gail Gosser, Gerloff Road. It's about the police report. I'm curious if you're able to tell us the general location in which the incidences occurred. Is there any kind of pattern of where those incidences are primarily occurring?
I don't have that here, but I can talk with the chief.
Yeah,
for the next meeting.
are they in the commercial district? Are they in the townhouse area? Are they out in the rural districts? I think it might be important in the future to kind of have an understanding of the general locale where these things are. It doesn't have to be specific, but generalities of locale. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Question.
Yes, Bill.
It's over on 107 Memorial Road. Although the police responded to 192, our local police, and the state police responded to 50.
Yep.
How many of those 50 did they get back to our police to follow up on? But really, most of the time, what they do is they respond, but they give all this work back to our police. So the number 192 looks a little light. If you really would ask the police chief, we don't need to have that information here, but just for our own information so we know how busy our police really are.
Yeah. I know we had a burglary out on Salford Station last month or 2 months ago. They called it in, the state police said, call your police department later, and they never came. So it does occur.
It's just a thought, because I mean, it is a big difference on their workload.
Scott.
I'm the guy.
Sorry, your name?
Schwank Road.
Scott.
Scott McCall, 102 Schwank Road. We were robbed. My wife ID'd the guy. She's seen him at the while. She's afraid to get out of the car. Took a picture of him. I've been to the police department. We called, she contacted him. She wanted to see the lineup. She's the one that brought the pictures to them. I want to see a response from them, or we don't need them. They have to have a response. Now, they were going to do it last month. We know who the kid is. They were going to do it last month. They didn't do it. I would need a response from them, and I would like you guys to make them come up with a response. Contact my wife back. My wife was 15 feet from this kid when he was robbing her car, and he ran from down our driveway. So if this is still being robbed in this township, it could be the same kid.
What's your last name? What's your last name, Scott?
LaCava, Lacava. But it's, they got to contact me back.
Okay.
We're not going to let it go. I know who the parents are, I know who the kid is. So they're supposed to handle it. If they can't handle it, we should save ourselves $649,000.
Any other questions? What else you got there? You got anything else? Tom?
Okay, for the month of November, we got the spreaders out, went over them, got them on the trucks, got the valves out, got them ready. We mixed up the salt and cinder bin, we had 3 sump pump inspections, we had our annual DEP inspection at the sewer plant. We mowed the sewer right-of-ways, and then I attended the dirt and gravel road for a low volume dirt and gravel road class to get our certification so we can apply for grants.
That's it? Any questions for Tom? Okay. Township manager.
All right, so 23-1, during the windstorm back in July, the straight line winds at their house was damaged pretty bad. They're looking to rebuild. They're going to rebuild a little bit larger, but they have a non-conforming lot now because of the new zoning ordinance for R1. So they're asking they're going to the zoning hearing board on December 10th, and would like a support of the board for their waivers request. The planning commission looked at this at their last meeting and granted support, so I want the board to see what the board needs to do.
I have no problem with it. Anybody else? The board is in favor.
Do we make a motion or not?
You can make a motion, or you can simply authorize the manager to write a letter to the zoning hearing board. You have the manager write a letter. What do you want?
Yeah, well, so we'll vote to authorize a manager to write a letter showing the Board of Supervisors supports their zoning hearing board application.
I'll second
Any questions? A vote?
that. Aye.
Aye.
And just as the new year comes up, we will have some openings on boards. If you're interested in being on one of the boards, Planning Commission, Park and Rec, EAC, Zoning Hearing Board, submit your name, information to me, like a resume or a letter of interest saying why you want to be on the board. We'll be looking to appoint new board members in the new year.
Mark, can we put a deadline on that so the new board can expeditiously fill those vacancies?
Yep.
Is 30 days enough or 45?
Why don't we say by January 1st?
Yeah, that way you can start to sift through them in the new year.
Okay. And you'll put that on the website as well?
Yep.
Yes.
In South Central Road, do we know, Mark, how many positions are running?
There's 2 people going on the planning commission, definitely because their terms are up. Obviously, we may have more. EAC has 2, Park Board has 3, and I'm not sure about the agricultural storage yet.
Any other questions? Solicitor.
All right, 2 items. One is Melbourne Hills, and council and representative from Melbourne Hills are present, as they were in front of the planning commission. So this is a request by Melbourne Hills to extend the MPC 5-year period. The idea is, once an application comes in, they're protected from ordinance changes. Once they obtain preliminary plan approval, their plan is protected from ordinance changes for 5 years from the date of preliminary plan approval. That 5 years with extensions under the Permanent Extension Act is coming up in April of 2020.
Also, the August.
August, I'm sorry, August 8th, 2020, right? And they have requested 9 months, the extension.